Hey everybody, Samzirra here. I'm gonna do something a little different today. Today, I am going to record my desktop because I want you to see the nightmare that I go through every time I try to get these games to work and some shit crashes or breaks or who knows. But I thought maybe that'll be entertaining for you. Who knows? Anything to get some eyeballs watching here. So I think the game just crashed a minute ago when I tried to start the stream because I had it on performance mode. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Let me make sure this is running here. It's so funny because all my electronics, like the second I hit go, like live, my phone stops working. My iPad locks up. My freaking computer starts slowing down. Something crashes. Like the audio doesn't work. It's like all these things work. I painstakingly spent hours getting all this shit set up, and it's just funny how that is. So sometimes it really bothers me, and I completely freak out. Other times it's not a big deal. Today it kind of felt like a big deal. I don't even think I'm live right now. Let's see. Yeah, like right now my phone's not working. God knows why. It says I'm streaming. Then I go on YouTube and I see nothing. So I don't know what's up. You know, all right, it says I'm live. I don't know if I'm live. So, anyways, when I'm not streaming, there are some things I can do as a PC player that makes the game a lot faster and better. And for those of you that are technically inclined, much more advanced than I am, at least when it comes to computers, this should be really helpful for you if you want to run Fortnite at the best possible performance you can. I wanted to show you guys how I do it. So I go to library in Epic Games here. Not here. You go to library here, and then you find your game, Fortnite in this case. You click the three dots. You go to manage. Hang on one second. All right, I should check my volume levels here real quick. I had to turn my voice down a little. Anyways, so what I do, these are called command line arguments. Now, you'll go down to launch options here, and you'll turn this on, and you'll type these commands in. So you'll put a dash, performance mode. That's if you want to run Fortnite in not DirectX 11 and not DirectX 12. I never use DirectX 12 anymore, even when I like just playing by myself, not surfing or I can't even think. Not live streaming. See, it's got me so discombobulated, I can't even talk. Performance mode will put the game in performance mode. The same thing you see inside the Fortnite menu. You can also write Vulkan. I don't know why I put both here. That's probably why it crashed. You only need to put one or the other. These both do the same thing, so I can just remove this, right? But I want to run the game in DirectX 11. So DX 11. This will put the game automatically in DirectX 11. No Man's Sky. That gets rid. Now, for you Fortnite creative players, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can manipulate how the sky looks and the time of day. If you put No Man's Sky in, the game will not process the sky. Sky will still be there, but it won't do all the graphics of the sky, something you're not looking at anyways. That saves you on performance. No Splash. That gets rid of the image that comes up at the beginning when you're loading the game, so the game will load faster. High makes the game run as a I can't even, I'm so fucked up right now. Makes the game run as a high performing process. Limit client ticks. Now, as the game goes, there's these things called ticks, and I'm not going to be able to explain this well. But if your game starts to lag and this is not on, it will slow the game down. You'll get like stuttering and stuff, especially if you're trying to run it like several hundred frames per second. This is amazing. It lets it just leave all that shit behind. It doesn't try to make up all the frames it's missing. It just keeps going. Keeps the game smooth. Use all available cores. This uses all the available cores of your processor. As many as that are available. It makes the game run even faster. No force feedback. This is for people that play with controller, but I leave this on anyways because I think it does something. I don't know if it actually does. This is the force feedback if your character bumps into something and causes the controller to vibrate. It takes all that processing out. I never use VSync. VSync actually slows the game down. Now, we've got a couple of other ones we can put here that I forgot. If you want the game to run into full screen, I always use full screen. Go on ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, please give me all the command line arguments that are currently available for Fortnite. And it will give you even more. You can type in your resolution you want. You can type in the frames per second you want. And it will automatically just load those things. You can even type in the map that you want to go to. If you're a Fortnite creator or you just want to play a specific map, it will just take you right into that game. You don't have to do any of the main menu stuff. Anyways, so that's in there. So all we do now is close that. Launch the game, and hopefully it works. Looks like everything's still on, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I've got a ton of games on here, if you can't tell already. I got a whole bunch of new stuff, and I just keep coming back to Fortnite because I like the torture. So, I don't know if it's going to come up, but you'll be able to see what my graphics card is doing. Anytime you see me streaming and you see the megahertz that my graphics card is running at, it's actually running at that half. It's running twice as fast because I'm streaming. So when I'm not streaming, it's only using half that power, which means I can jack up the frame rate. So usually when I'm playing by myself, I'm not streaming, I've got the frame rate at like 360, 420 sometimes. I've even got it up as hard. The fastest I've got my computer to run it is about 550. And it looks incredible. And I don't even have a monitor. I'm using a TV, which it shouldn't even work on. But my friend said, oh, you'll never notice a difference after 60 frames per second because you only have a 60 megahertz TV. That's absolutely not true. You can totally tell there's a difference. It looks way more realistic. That's pretty much it. So let's get into a game here. Oh, see how fast the game loaded? That's awesome. And I can go down here. Let me turn this off so I don't have anybody bugging me. See, it put the game in DirectX 11. I had it in performance mode, but it does it automatically. Another thing, I think I should show you guys this other shit too. See where my resolution's at? My TV is only 1980 by 1080p. So how can it be that I run the resolution this big? Or 1920 by 1080, excuse me. Well, here's the thing. If I run this at 1920 by 1080, I don't know if you'll be able to tell. There's a huge visual difference. Wait till you see this. You see how there's edging right here? Anti-aliasing, those little jagged edges? That's if I run it at normal. But because I'm making the resolution so humongous, I use this thing called DSR factors in NVIDIA Control Panel. And I can actually even make this much bigger, like 3880. And because it makes the resolution so huge, it then has to shrink it down. And when it does that, it makes the details pop. It uses half as much resources, which means you can run your frame rate like so fast, and you can put all the settings on max settings if you want, and it's not going to hurt anything. It's just a crazy trick that I learned. Somebody finally showed me, and I was like, oh my god. And so, like, I'm streaming with AV1 right now, which is like the new encoding. So this should actually look pretty amazing on your guys' end. Let me take a look here. Settings if you want. It's not going to hurt. So before I start the game, I want to show you one more thing. Show exactly what I'm talking about. For any of you PC players out there. Where is my control panel? Okay. Always run this as administrator. Always run Fortnite as administrator. Epic Games, all that stuff needs to be run as administrator. Please don't crash. I'm fucking begging you. Please don't crash. All right, so we got a video control panel open. You go to manage 3D settings, right? You go up here to desktop, enable developer settings. Make sure that's checked. You can leave this on or off. I don't really think this makes much of a difference for me personally. All right, but I turn all this shit off. All of this needs to be off. All of it. Background application frame rate should be 30. So that if you're doing like what I'm doing now, it slows the computer down so you're not melting everything. It doesn't need to be running at 120 frames per second while I'm showing you this. DSR factors. This is what I'm talking about. Dynamic super resolution or something like that. These two right here will make the resolution, just makes it look amazing. Even in performance mode, it looks amazing, like DirectX 11 at half the amount of computing power. Now, you can even go bigger if you want, but then you have to dial in a couple extra settings. I just suggest you try these two if you've never done this before. These two. All right? I'm going to add the big one just in case so you can see it too, but just those two for you. DSR smoothness, I leave this at 0. This actually makes the game smoother, but the higher you go, it takes out the details for some reason. So we'll just do a little bit. But I like to leave it, it's like low or 0. Low latency mode, ultra, which means the computer is not making any extra frames. If it's on, it's making one extra frame, like pre-making it before you see it. If it's ultra, it's not doing that at all. So now the computer has less stuff to make. So now your performance is getting even better. Max frame rate. I'm probably not going to go over 120. If you're pretty sure you know what frame rate you're going to stick at during the game, let's say you're picking 120, you need to make this 118, 119. If it's 60, you make it 59. If it's, 500, you make it 498-ish. Leaving the extra 2 frames off, the game will still run it at what you want it to run at. But because it can't go over like 120, for instance, saves even more computing power. So now the game's running even faster. Multi-frame sampled something, something, something. That you have to look up. It just makes the graphics look better. This is a negligible thing. I don't have to use this, but I want it to look good while I'm playing and I'm streaming. If you're playing just like to win, like competitively, turn this shit off. This always should be auto. This should be auto. Power management mode normal. Never. And you can if you want. If you put this on maximum performance, it runs your GPU as fast as it can go on the highest power, whether you're doing something or not. It kills your GPU. There's no reason to. Our computers are advanced enough to run it fine at normal and speed it up when it needs to. Shader cache. If you want it to look good, the game runs automatically at 4 gigabytes. I put it at 10 usually. Because we did the no texture streaming command line argument, that means it loads all the textures for the game ahead of time. If you don't do that, what happens is while you're playing, as you're moving through the game, it's loading textures, which can slow you down. If it's preloaded like we're doing, the game's going to run so much faster. It's amazing. I always put this on and always put this on clamp. I do this because we're not doing VSync. This helps keep the screen from tearing. Texture filtering. If you're doing competitive, this needs to be high performance. I don't do high quality ever. It's just pointless. Unless I'm like recording something, but I would never do it when I'm streaming. The rest of this auto, what's that noise? Oh no. Oh, I'm bumping my keyboard. All right. And then that's it. That's it. We apply. All right. Now, close this. Let's go back to the game. Now check this out. So now, I might have to, oh no, there it is. See how huge the resolution is? You'd think as soon as I click on this, it's not going to fit on the screen, which it's not probably for a second. Nope. This just made the game run even faster because it's it's saving that computing power. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like when you if you looked at this stuff really close, you'd see like little blocks the closer you get because of the graphics. It when it makes the thing huge, it has to shrink back down, and it just adds a shit ton of detail, and it just makes the game run so fast. It's awesome. I'm running at 120 frames per second right now and streaming, which is incredible. But because I'm streaming and I want to win, let's just do it at 60 and see how it goes. All right. That was a lot of shit to say. I'm sorry. But I just had to get that off my chest.